What's up, everybody? And welcome once again to Tale of the Tape, brought to you by Gym Bag Entertainment, the show about combat sports by guys that love combat sports. As always, I'm your host, Craig, here with my co-host.
You're a brawling broadcaster, Michael Johnson.
I forgot all about that until as soon as I finished saying my name, I was like, yep, I forgot. All right, so we have a jam-packed show for you today once again, and we're going to start right off with UFC 243, Whitaker versus Adesanya, and that was Saturday, October 5th, 7 p.m. at Marvel Studios in Melbourne, Australia.
Marvel Studios, you said?
I said studio? Yeah, Marvel Stadiums.
We do like some Marvel around
We do
here.
love Marvel, and it is actually owned by Marvel, which is pretty cool. They had some nice artwork inside the studio.
And outside, some of the graffiti they did for some of the fighters.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And the thing that I thought was weird is like how big the stadium was.
Huge.
Like if you were sitting in the balconies, like you definitely weren't looking in the cage. You were looking at the Jumbotron.
It was, big open empty floor down there. Looked like you could fit a whole football field in that stadium. It holds like 60,000 and they filled it up.
Yeah, the space between where people were sitting on the floor and then where the actual stadium seating starts, you could have a party in that area. Like just like people who aren't paying attention to the fight, listening to music and dancing around.
Oh, yeah.
Like you could just have like a gathering in those areas. It was ridiculous. But this was a awesome event. And it started off strong. Khalid Taha, 13-2, going up against the 10-3-2 Bruno Silva. Let's talk about that one.
Interesting fight to start it off. Bruno Silva with some low blows early.
Oh, man.
Some silly refereeing. With the mouthpiece stuff.
Yeah, that was
the separations. Right as the mouthpiece was coming out, while Taha's, putting in work. Like, not so great on the refereeing for the first fight. That
really bothered me. Like, it's well known that if a mouthpiece falls out, you wait until the fighters break apart. You let the action continue. He could have stopped. The way he stopped that could have been a finish in a fight.
Oh, absolutely. And it changes it when they restart it. You got a guy hurt, and then now he's not hurt. He had some time to rest.
Yeah.
But Taha with a good victory, landing the left hand at will. Gets an arm triangle at about 3 minutes in the third round, and gets away with the submission victory here.
Yeah, it was a really nice arm triangle.
Yeah, Bruno Silva had nothing for him. He was 1 of 7 for takedowns. All he did was try to take him down. And fail.
Yeah, he was terrible. We both chose Khalid to win, so we both right. Pretty cool. And then we have in the flyweight division, Nadia Kassem, 5-1, going up against the 8-2-2 Ji Young Kim. How'd that fight go?
Another real interesting one early. Ji Young Kim looked, a little upset and, uncomfortable on the way to the cage. Almost looked like she was gonna cry.
Yeah.
Looked maybe wasn't feeling great. They said she had a hard weight cut, 2 pounds over, didn't make it. But Nadia Kassem, we both called it for Nadia,
we did.
She's the big finisher. We thought she was going to keep her, her hype train rolling. But right off the bat, when Kim tries to touch gloves with her, Kassem, hits her with a kick on a cheap shot. Like,
you know what?
Right off the bat, I didn't like that.
That really upset me. Like I really thought Nadia Kassem would take this fight. I was rooting for her right up until the moment the match begins because she called for the hand tag.
Right.
She called for it. Kim agrees, and as soon as they touch gloves, she goes for a kick to the body, and it's like, yo, come on, show some fight respect.
Right. It's total disrespect, and to throw a kick to the body at that range, she's right in your range because you're touching hands. That's pretty dirty.
Super dirty.
But she had to get her karma for it.
And karma she got indeed.
Ji Young Kim starts landing the body shot, the low left hand and the straight right to the body, and starts landing 1-2s to the face over and over. Nadia definitely gassed out come the second round. 2 minutes, 49 seconds in, Kim with the good body shot that drops her and hurts her.
Giving her killing the
crumbles her. And good TKO win for Ji Young Kim.
Yeah, I really loved it. The thing I loved is that Ji Young Kim's face never changes.
Yeah.
She has this face like, I don't care. I'm just here to fight you. No emotion. And she endures.
Once the fight started, for sure, you know, like we said, she looked out of sorts before the fight. But once it started,
going,
it was
game face on.
Game face, that's it.
And and then she weathers the initial storm. Nadia Kassim comes on strong.
Yep.
Yeah, she was looking good, but she weathers the storm and then starts landing some really good striking. And you're right, the body shots is what did her in. She could not
That's
handle
what gassed
it.
her out, I think, too. You know?
And it's what dropped her. At the very end, she took a body shot and she went down. She couldn't take anymore. And to me, you get what you deserve.
Oh, yeah, you get what you deserve, you know, and
fight clean.
It was nice, yeah, to see that. I like to see, you know, somebody get their just desserts. You know?
I don't believe Nadia Kassim will ever get a hand touch by another fighter ever again.
No, and she tried to touch hands with her second round, and Kim was like, "What are you, crazy?"
Yeah, get out of here. Back up.
You know?
All right, in the lightweight division, Jamie Malarkey, full of malarkey, 12-2, going up against the undefeated 2-0 Brad Riddle. How'd that fight go?
Brad Riddle with just great hands was the name of the game, and Jamie Malarkey with a chin of granite, pretty much.
Oh, my God. Like, this fight was like one of those fights that's a little tough to watch.
Yeah, great fortitude by Malarkey was pretty much the name of the fight. I mean, great job by Riddle. Like I said, you know, great hands. It should have been a TKO, but, like, Malarkey just couldn't be put away.
Yeah, would not be put away. It kind of reminded me of like a movie scene where the good guy is just getting blown out.
What about that one punch when he's on his knees there?
That's
they're
the fight.
both on their knees and he uppercuts them.
Yo, it's literally what happens in the movie. You've seen a movie. Two fighters are fighting. They're kicking the crap out of each other. The good guy is gaining his ground first, but they're on their hands and knees. And the bad guy looks at him and he's just like, pop! And just gave him like the meanest. I mean, and the look on Malarkey's face was just like,
and still didn't go out.
Yeah.
I mean, like no blocking for that shot. I mean, he ate shot after shot. Brad Riddle with a good win here. I mean, it had to be 30-26 at least. The Malarkey was decent in the first round with, you know, some grappling pressure, but then he was just getting hurt.
Yeah, it was like it looked like a Rocky fight.
Yeah.
Just like no hands up, just straight getting your face blown out, but accepting every punch.
And the opposite refereeing style for this one with our man Mark Goddard here, who I like quite a bit.
Yeah.
He was because Malarkey's mouthpiece went out a couple times as well.
Yes.
But he didn't separate them until there was a break in the action.
And there was one time it went on for like a minute with no break in the action, and he was getting his face blown out.
He picked it up and held on to it and just waited, you know, and got them fighting right back quick when he could. So great job to him.
Yeah, and so that was a great way to end the early prelims. That was the main event of the early prelims.
Yes.
And I mean, the way this fight went, performance of the night or something, like,
yeah, he could get that.
I didn't look to see what they got, but
they could both get fight of the night. I didn't see where the awards went for this event.
Wow.
But that's pretty serious, yeah.
It was a wonderful fight.
It was good.
All right, and then we jump into the prelims. Starting off with in the women's featherweight division, Megan Anderson 9-4, going up against the 6-2 Zara Farron dos Santos. How'd that fight go?
Submission early for Megan Anderson, but I think she was in trouble early. I mean, if she didn't get a hold of her,
yeah.
I think Zara was just too aggressive. You know, she rushed her early, but was hurting her right from the get-go.
Oh yeah. I think that's why she had to grab her, because
she had to grapple her. You know, you see Anderson try to throw some kicks right off the bat and couldn't do nothing.
No.
You know, like she swarmed her so hard, but had to grab her, had to take her down. Gets a gorgeous triangle.
Yeah.
You know,
it was wonderful.
With the hand in too to help her sandwich off the neck there.
True.
You know, probably give her technique of the week for that, for keeping the hand in. Honestly, that was pretty nice. And yeah, I think she was in trouble though until then. I think.
If Zara had better submission defense and got this back to standing, Megan Anderson could have been in extreme danger.
Yeah, perhaps just even better wrestling, because I totally agree that she could have won. Great, fantastic tattoos on Megan Anderson.
I was just about to say I thought you was gonna give Megan Anderson another award.
Because I think she gets like the best ink in the UFC award.
Best ink in the UFC award to Megan Anderson. I mean, she's covered head to toe.
Pretty much.
Excuse me, head to shoulder.
Well, she got one whole leg sleeve, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean...
There's only one bare leg.
There is a bare leg?
Yeah.
So she's probably going to cover that up soon. But her ink is impeccable. It's beautiful work. Google her, look up her pictures, pay attention when you're watching the UFC fights. Her ink is
beautiful. I mean, we're tattoo fans.
Yeah,
and
we love ink.
There's a lot of people in the UFC that have,
tons of
questionable ink, but hers is fantastic.
Yeah, guys who got their ink like 10, 15 years ago, or like in prison, because there's some horrible ink in the UFC, but Megan Anderson should be in a magazine.
Yeah, she's got some expensive stuff.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
It's pretty awesome. All right, in the welterweight division, Kalan Potter, 17-8, going up against the 11-4 Maki Pitolo. How'd this one go?
This was a back and forth fight. Pitolo was a more disciplined striker, but he lacked head movement. In the exchanges, he definitely seemed more disciplined on the offensive side of the striking. But Kalan Potter with the looping left hook that was landing over and over again, and just the better grappler all night for sure. And Kalan Potter comes out with a good decision here over Pitolo.
I gotta be honest with you on this fight. I have no input because I can't remember it.
Yeah, I don't remember so much of it. It was a little lackluster. I do remember the exchanges on the feet where Maki just wasn't moving his head. He looked crisper and like he could have, ran away with it. It was a close one. I'm pretty sure it was split.
Might this have been least of the night?
No, I think the next one would probably get that.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Really?
I was not impressed with Jake Matthews and Rostam Akhmat.
Wait, that was next?
I thought so.
Yeah, because the other fight got moved up.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay, yes, correct. So in the men's welterweight division, Jake Matthews, 14-4, going up against the 6-1 Rostam Akhmat. And yeah.
I thought this would be, a burner of a fight. Jake Matthews wins pretty handedly, 30-27, won every round. Just on movement, though. He stayed around the outside, landed some ones and twos, but neither guy could really find the right, the right range, and a lot of missed punches. You've seen them both winging overhand right at the same time and missing,
I remember that. You are right, least of the night.
Neither guy was really gassed out. Neither guy was really hurt. I mean, it was definitely a poor performance by Rostam Akhmat and just a real safe performance by Jake Matthews, and nothing fancy there.
All right, well, let's jump away from that fight right away, and we will talk about the opening fight of the main card. It was supposed to be Holly Holmes versus Raquel Pennington. That fight gets dropped due to a Holly Holm injury. And jumping into the opening fight is Justin Tafa, 3-0, going up against the also undefeated 5-0 Jorgen De Castro. And not too much to be able to say about this fight, but
Justin Tafa with some great Samoan style ink himself.
Yeah. Great ink, bro.
Same exact as Tai Tuivasa. I was inspecting the both of them. They had the same exact work, like not even one difference to it. So
really?
You might have even seen the same artist. It's traditional stuff.
Yeah.
Only done by certain people, so they might have seen the same exact artist. But
interesting.
Justin Tafa, big Samoan, going in against Jorgen De Castro, the big Brazilian from Massachusetts, Fall River. Shout out Jorgen De Castro. Tafa comes straight forward. De Castro with good hooks on the counter. Lands, was it a left, I believe?
No, it was the right.
The right
it was
hook
a right
was
hook.
The finisher, yeah. And,
I think it was the only landed punch.
Round one, about 2 minutes and 10 seconds in. Yeah.
It went that long?
It really did, yeah. That's weird, right?
I felt like it went 30 seconds.
I think they danced around a bit, and felt it out. And Yeah, because I remember Castro moving back because he knocked him out while moving back while Tafa's coming forward.
Yeah, Tafa just kind of like charged in, and like he did that kind of thing where like you're leaning in and throwing overhand rights, and when that right came around, the left came from Castro. The Castro cleaned his clock. Homeboy went down like a tree trunk.
Yeah, he went down so hard, clinched up so tight. I mean, he was down and out for a while. Too. He was sleeping for a bit. It was a brutal knockout.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. The thing I loved, if you get a chance to watch this fight, if you ordered it and did watch it and weren't paying attention, or if you didn't get to see it and they have it on YouTube, like go back and watch and see while Tafa is down and he's got the drunk, confused face on while he's unconscious. Like homeboy is asleep and he's like,
as soon as he got hit,
man.
Like, completely out.
Yeah, he was sleeping.
Some real power from Yorgan De Castro. It'd be another interesting up-and-coming heavyweight, and I like how he's kind of a counter-puncher. You know, he wasn't trying to come forward against Tafa.
Yep.
Be interesting against one of these other big heavyweights that come forward. You know.
I don't remember his name, but you remember that big like. He was like really ripped, but like on the shorter size. Heavy. I think maybe he was light heavyweight. Yeah, I think he was actually light heavyweight. We remember his name was like something crazy, but he's like a wicked Jack Black dude.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't. It's a crazy name.
Yeah, it's a wicked crazy name. I think we only said his first name.
I think he might be a light heavyweight.
Yeah, I think he's light heavyweight, so we can't see him.
He's been knocking everybody out though.
Yeah. So we gotta
Rosenstruck.
Maybe it is Rosenstruck.
Right? It sounds like Eastern European, but he's like Brazilian.
But he's like Brazilian, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with that. And then in the welterweight division, Luke Jamo, 14-4, going up against the 14-7 Diego Lima. And this was a pretty decent fight.
Yeah, I would say so. Diego Lima. With a split decision win here, that was a little weird. I would have called it, 30-27 across the board. Story of the match is leg kicks, leg kicks, leg kicks.
Brutal,
brutal. Luke Jumo is definitely,
Didn't he knock him down a couple times with leg kicks?
He definitely knocked him down more than once off the kick to the leg. Jumo staggered Lima with a punch in the second round.
Yep.
But, couldn't do anything with it. Yeah, leg kicks, leg kicks, leg kicks. I mean, he didn't do much else. Yeah. But good win for Lima here.
Yeah, Diego Lima looked good, returning to form. I liked him from when he was in Ultimate Fighter. I didn't realize he was in it twice. Yep. But I did the
runner-up twice.
Yeah, runner-up twice. So I really like this guy. I want to see him continue to rise in the UFC. Good victory for him. And then we move into the heavyweight division. Taya Tuvasa, 8-2, going up against the 9-1 Sergey Spivak. Let's talk about this fight, because this fight was weird.
I really liked it, actually. Sergey Spivak, we didn't get to see much of in his UFC debut, getting knocked out quick.
Yep.
Taya Tuvasa, we've seen plenty of, and I don't know. I'm not too impressed with him anymore.
He's been very lackluster, and no more so than what happened in this pay-per-view.
Absolutely, Spivak controlled him everywhere. I mean, he was out striking him, and I thought for sure Tuivasa had the faster hands. Spivak had good kicks, and he was just taking him down at will. The ground and pound was real good from Spivak, and Tuivasa just gives up the submission, the arm triangle in round 2. I think to avoid the ground and pound,
Well, I mean, I
don't know. He couldn't get out of the position.
He got his nose blown up, and I think he couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle getting hit. But then, like, Spivak goes straight down into the arm triangle, like just goes right for it. And then, as he's trying to hop over the leg, Tuvasa turns his body to allow
to let him crank the choke.
Yeah, to allow him get the choke into perfect position, and so he could tap out. And
I don't think he taps there. Did he go to sleep or did he tap?
No, I thought he tapped.
Oh, all right.
I don't think he could touch him, but I think he went like this with his hand. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure he did tap.
Oh yeah, I think he tapped in the air.
Yeah, but my problem is if I'm Dana White and I see that, what you just did is you gave up.
You gave up.
You gave up. You didn't try to fight it at all. You're supposed to have some type of ground game. You didn't make a single attempt to wrap this dude up or get in any position where you weren't going to get tapped out. You just gave in. I wouldn't want to give you a fight again.
Yeah, and I've been unimpressed with him, like I was saying. Yeah. And this just is like the icing on the cake. I mean, he hasn't been doing well anyways. No. So
time for Bellator, baby.
This is 3 losses in a row for him anyways. Yeah. And to just give up like that, yeah. So.
Terrible. All right, and then in the lightweight division, Al Iaquinta, 14-5-1, formerly fought for the title. 18-8, Dan Hooker, and this was a really good fight.
I agree. Al Iaquinta was in it early. Is getting that kick to the calf from Dan Hooker, nicely executed. Hurt him early, and he had to switch stances. Had to fight left-handed for the whole rest of the fight, and that's really what gave Dan Hooker the advantage. He couldn't close the distance while at southpaw, and Dan Hooker just picked him apart. He wanted to take his time, and show his gas tank, he was saying after the fight. Mm-hmm. And a really good win, 30-27, every round for Dan Hooker. Really, and I would have maybe even gave round 3 like a 10-8 round,
Oh yeah, he was beaten. For some reason I thought that he got finished. I didn't realize it went to decision. I didn't remember that it went to a decision. But Dan Hooker was just putting it. Al Iaquinta went down. Maybe that's why I thought it got finished, because he went down a few times.
Yeah, he did.
From punches. So congratulations to Dan Hooker.
Yeah, he's calling out some people a little ahead of him. Of himself, I think. Like he immediately called out Dustin Poirier after the fight, which I think that's a little high up. And he also, once Poirier said like, no way, no thanks.
Yeah.
Hooker said, well, then it's got to be Gaethje, and I think that's ridiculous. I think he's
damn. I would
getting a
say
little ahead of himself. I think he should fight Cowboy Cerrone. Because you could beat Al, but let's see if you can beat Cowboy, who could also beat Al and beat him much better, honestly.
Yeah, he actually knocked out Al Iaquinta, so that could be an interesting fight.
And I think it would put Cowboy in that role to be that guy. Like if you want the top, you got to go through him.
Cowboy has kind of become the hump fighter. If he's ready for more. I don't hate that fight. I would be honest with you. I think that Gaethje has earned himself the right to be in the as close as possible to title contention. So I don't think Dan Hooker should get Gaethje. I don't know if I'm against him getting Poirier. Even though Poirier just did have the title, he didn't get a title. He didn't get the title by beating a true light heavyweight. Right. A true lightweight. I don't think, I think he should have had to have, I don't know, to be honest with you. I think that if Dan Hooker wanted Dustin Poirier, that'd be a fight I think I'd be interested to see.
Yeah, I think it's a decent matchup, honestly.
Yeah. Because even though Dustin Poirier, he was the champ, and he did beat Justin Gaethje.
Right. It was more that string of wins. You know what I mean? Before the Max Holloway fight.
Oh, Dan Hooker could face Pettis.
Ooh,
that'd be a good fight.
Absolutely.
I didn't even that just came to me. But is Pettis at welter?
Pettis did go up to.
He went to up to welter. Okay.
But I think Cowboy is
Cowboy is a good fight
for him. But I don't hate the Poirier matchup.
I don't hate it, but
I just think Poirier is a little more deserving still.
And I always want to see Cowboy Cerrone fight. So
I think Poirier is still a little more deserving than having to fight the likes of an up and comer.
I feel you.
I feel like if Conor wants to come back, then that's somebody that Poirier should fight.
Yeah,
that's the fight I'd like to see for Poirier.
Or maybe that's the fight for Conor. Hooker.
Yeah. Oh. That ain't bad either.
You know,
you gotta fight the rising star.
Yeah, give him someone that has some cred going on in the division right now, and then throw him into the Lions Den against some better competition. Right. We'll see what happens. All right, and now the fight that everybody, all UFC fans, was waiting for. Everybody was excited. We were on the edge of our seats in the middleweight division for the title. The champ, Robert Whittaker, 20-4, going up against the interim champ, the undefeated 17-0, the last style bender, Israel Adesanya. And this fight looked to be incredible. Let's talk about it.
Israel is just, a different kind of beast. His striking is, real serious. Like people have heard me talk about the difference in, a long-time kickboxer compared to a long-time mixed martial artist. In Israel really brings that different level of striking to mixed martial arts, and it's hard to deal with for anybody. I mean, I think Whittaker had a pretty good game plan.
I think he
honestly
did
too. The bursts coming in hard, coming out just as fast. The only thing is you got to get hit to implement that strategy, and Israel got some real power. He showed, because
and he has very accurate striking.
Because Whittaker can surely take a shot. We know that.
Oh,
and
going up against Yoel Romero, you got to be able to.
I think that Whittaker was a little outmatched, a little bit. Definitely striking. It would have been kind of interesting if he tried to push a grappling exchange.
That's true.
It would have been interesting to see that. Israel almost finishes him late in the first round with the right hand. It was definitely saved by the bell there. Second round comes out, and Israel looks supremely confident after the first. Whittaker did all right in the first, I think, besides getting dropped late. It looked like it was going to be a fairly even fight and probably a war.
Yeah.
Until he gets dropped before the bell. Then round two comes out and Israel looks, supremely confident, is landing what he wants, moving in and out as he wants, starting to pressure him a lot. Lands a head kick.
That one was strong.
I don't know how he didn't go to sleep on that. And then Whittaker never stopped trying. Keeps coming in and hits him with I think Whittaker hit him with a left hook in the final exchange, but Israel with the right-left combo on the counter and
just puts him
to sleep bad.
It was, and I respect Israel because he knew he knew he was done.
Yeah.
He knew when he hit him that he was done, and he did not continue. He celebrated the victory, and the thing that I love is that Israel Adesanya, I don't know if it's that he was hiding his ability, but against all the major fighters he's fought over the last 2 years, I feel like there was more of a struggle in those fights. He went on a war, a struggle against Kevin Gastelum, who, nothing taken away from Kevin Gastelum, that dude's a dog. He can fight, he's a beast, but he was not the champ.
No.
And then he goes up against Anderson Silva, 5 rounds.
Right.
And, Anderson Silva's kind of, he's not Anderson Silva anymore. But he had to go 5 rounds with him. He couldn't put him away. But then he goes up against Robert Whittaker, the Reaper, the guy who's just dominating everybody.
Everybody in the middleweight division.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And he put him away. Second round, relatively easy. And right from the jump.
Oh, yeah.
Right from the jump, Israel Adesanya looked sharper, faster, and more confident than I've ever seen him in any fight. As if he was waiting for this title shot to showcase his real ability.
And I think he knew he had something for Whittaker, already.
Yeah.
I think, he knew his style matched up well even before he, fought some of them other guys. And styles do make fights, and sometimes when you got, like his matchup against Gastelum seems like, he's definitely the lesser of the striker, but he's a real accurate boxer.
Yeah.
And his fortitude is off the charts. You know,
Yeah, it was crazy.
And he had to take a lot of damage to get to the end of that decision.
Yeah,
you know?
he did have to take a lot. Well, he did finish him though in the third, and I mean the final round or the fifth round or whatever it was.
In the final round, he did actually finish him.
Yeah. But that was because of the barrage of punches that he had taken on. But it just seemed weird to me that like all these fights you've seen Israel fight, like, you know, he's had some fights where he was incredible, but it was against guys who weren't in like the top 10, top 5, top 10 ranking. But then he, you know, a lot of the guys he fought in the top 5, we were like, these were some real tests for him. And it didn't seem as though Whitaker was that much of a test.
I think you get that a lot with the you know, the championship fights. You'll see a guy tearing through the weight class, and he'll have a harder matchup before he gets to the belt than the actual title fight itself. You know, because styles make fights, and you know,
this is true.
Sometimes you got a much harder fight, even if the guy's not the one holding the belt. You know. Now
my question is, because of how dominant he was before losing the belt, and because of how big of a fighter he is, and the popularity around him, and the way he was able to beat every other fighter, does Whitaker get an instant rematch?
Instant? I'm not sure, because of how long he's been out before the fight. I wouldn't mind it. You know, he is a deserving guy. I mean, he's beaten most of the people in the division, but we got some other beasts that he hasn't faced. Like, he never had to fight Paulo Costa.
Yeah, or Yoel Romero.
Whitaker, I mean, you know, fought Yoel twice. But, you know, he's never had to face the likes of, like, Costa, who definitely earned his title shot facing Romero.
Yep.
So, I think he's got to be first for Israel. But, Whitaker said right in the post-fight, you know, I'll see him in a couple fights. You know, so I don't even think he's looking for an immediate rematch. I think he might want to build himself up a little more.
Yeah, get some other fights underneath his belt.
Right. I think I think that was what we said too was going to be the biggest factor in the fight was, you know, Whitaker's time off, and that could have played a part. He looked good, he looked crisp, but you know, just he hadn't been there in a while. You know?
Yeah, a little bit of that ring rust. You know, Dominic Cruz likes to say ring rust doesn't exist.
I don't care what he says though. Inactivity, you're out of practice.
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because what you do in the sparring ring is not the same as what happens in the octagon.
Never will be.
Nope. So that I don't know. Crazy outcome.
Second round KO.
Yeah.
3 minutes 33 seconds into the second round. Like I said. Right-left combo from Israel on the counter. Great finish.
And deserving, you know, 18-0 and the champ.
Disrespecting Paulo Costa after.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, giving him the D-Generation X. And
to be honest with you, like, I don't believe Acosta got it for him. I don't think he does.
I think his style is pretty good. You know, for the matchup.
He could have lost to Yoel Romero.
But
if Yoel Romero continued his...
I can agree with that, but, you know, Israel never had to fight Yoel either.
That's true. That's true.
And I think like Whitaker's 2 matchups with Yoel Romero has affected him permanently, you know, as a fighter, for sure. You know,
I could see that. I could see that.
2 wars like that, they don't go away.
No.
You know?
And you know what? I actually believe that Yoel Romero gave up on the first fight that he could have won. He turned Robert Whitaker's leg into hamburger meat in like the first 2 rounds, and then after the second round stopped throwing the leg kick. Robert Whitaker's leg was hamburger meat, bro.
I totally agree.
So I don't know if he would have continued that leg kick, how effective Robert Whitaker's striking would have been in that fight. So I don't know, but I want to see Israel Adesanya fight Acosta.
I think that'll be the next fight for him. I think, you know, maybe with Yoel coming off of the loss to Costa, maybe he fights Whitaker for a third time.
Do you want to put someone up against someone that they've already lost to twice to see them? Because, I mean, if Yoel wins, it's still 2-1, you know?
Right. So then they'll have to go for
in the middleweight division, you know, I'd like to see Robert Whitaker go up against Kevin Gastelum.
Definitely, they were scheduled to fight before.
Yeah.
You know, and injury pulled them out. Whitaker out of that
And I
fight.
think there's like some other middleweights that are up and coming.
Gastelum had to settle for a shot at the interim title because of that.
Yeah.
And we got middleweights moving up that are serious. There's a lot of good guys he could fight that probably need a little more experience before they face somebody like the
like Robert Whitaker. Yeah. So Kevin Gastelum and Robert Whitaker, that could be a really great
I think
fight.
that would be a great fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that would tell us if he's ready for, a rematch with Adesanya. If he can't get through Gastelum, he don't deserve Adesanya again.
There it is. And if Gastelum can get through Whitaker, then maybe he deserves a second chance because he put Israel in danger.
Absolutely. Hurt him. I mean, nobody ever damaged Israel like that.
Israel's face came out. He came out of that fight looking like he'd been in a fight. So
absolutely.
I would like, what I would like to see? I'd like to see a pay-per-view, Israel Adesanya versus Acosta for the main event, Whitaker versus Gastelum for the co-main event.
Absolutely.
Winners fight each other at a later date.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Keeping on the Israel Adesanya, we have some news
that
revolves around him.
Him and John Jones war of words on the internet.
Going on.
I think Jones kind of started it though. Adesanya has been asked many times about, the prospect of fighting John Jones. And, he kind of never really said anything, just like he'll beat anybody. He's supremely confident. Mm-hmm. And Jones had to, say some words over this past couple weeks about Adesanya.
Oh, yeah.
And, telling him pretty much, sit down, kid.
Yeah, he said he would expose him.
He said he would expose him. I do think Jones would probably expose him grappling-wise, but because we haven't seen anything from Israel like that.
Yeah, Jones is way too strong. I think Jones is too strong. Israel goes up to light heavyweight. He's at an extreme disadvantage.
I think it's less of a disadvantage as most people think, though. Like in MMA, it's a huge disadvantage for people always look at it as a huge disadvantage for a undersized guy to fight the bigger guy, but as the kickboxing world has always not cared about weight. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's plenty of times that Israel has weighed in at like 190 and fought guys that were 230 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And, it's a little different when you're not allowed to grapple.
Yeah.
When you're outsized, the grappling is, the biggest thing. But when you're that good of a striker, you can avoid quite a bit of grappling exchanges.
Jones is also an excellent striker.
Also an excellent striker, and his striking has developed through mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Either way, so far, Israel says, let me defend my title in my weight class.
Did you see the bumble, though?
Huh?
He said, John Jones, get your balls out of my mouth. Yeah. And he was like, wait, I messed that up. I meant to say, get my balls out of your mouth.
Yeah,
that was so funny. But I think I do agree with both sides of the fence. And John Jones says, if I wait for you to defend your title a few times, by the time you do that, I'll be a
heavyweight.
Yeah. And I want to see John Jones go to heavyweight.
I always like the idea of that, but then we're talking the same thing. Is he going to be, undersized and outmatched?
No, I don't think John Jones could be outmatched. To be honest with you, I think John Jones is the only fighter in the UFC that no matter where he fights, he is going to be John Jones. I think that his skill level is above and beyond anybody else's in the UFC.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, but when we're talking going from 205 to facing a guy who might be 250, you know what I mean? And
is there a guy in the heavyweight who has the skill level to get in to where they can put a hurt on John Jones? I think almost any guy in the heavyweight, if they can land a clean punch on Jones, might knock him out.
I think it's as much of an advantage as it would be like if Israel moved up to 205. I don't think he'd be as outmatched as like people think. I think
if he was fighting anybody but John Jones, I'd agree with you. But
I think he's outmatched grappling wise. I don't think John is I think he's a fantastic striker. Is he that much better than Adesanya as a striker? No.
You don't think so?
No.
I do. I think I think John Jones is in his own league when it comes, because he fights every fight to win, and he fight like they say all the time. The reason why it's so hard to fight John Jones is because you don't know which Jones you're gonna get when you fight. And
But
I think that
Adesanya maybe showed us that too.
you think so?
That we don't know which one we're gonna get. You know?
See, I think that I don't.
Throughout some of his fight, we're gonna get the aggressive one that's
True.
trying to finish you off. Are
True,
we gonna
I
get
think
the safe fighter who fought Anderson Silva? You know?
Yeah. That okay, you know what? I will agree with you on that. But I think it's I think John Jones is his ability to change his fighting tactic and style, I think, is still even different than anybody else's. Like, you literally don't see the same fighter against Daniel Cormier. He was wicked aggressive, going in hard.
Yeah.
He went for a gritty fight against Alex Gustafsson, and then against Thiago Santos, a very conservative fight.
Right.
So I think that it's, and even against Ovince St. Preux, very, very conservative when he fought him. I think he maybe landed 20 strikes throughout the whole fight, but every strike was landed, and he stopped everything from happening. I don't know. I just don't believe that Israel would be successful against him.
I think it could be the best fight that Jones has had in a long time.
Yes,
honestly.
I do think that he could.
Because I think, Santos showed us that, a real high quality striker, can put Jones in some trouble, position wise. And Adesanya is definitely a better striker than Thiago Santos.
Way better. So that would be a fight I would love to see happen if they can make it happen in a year.
I think it should be, if they both continually successfully defend that, let it grow some more, let it be, 1 or 2 years down the line,
What would be interesting is if they did it at a catch weight, somewhere between 185 and 205.
Yeah.
Jones drops a little lower, Asande goes a little higher, meet somewhere in the middle, non-title fight, just like an exhibition.
But yeah, Israel definitely says, let me defend my title first, and then I'll come up to your weight class and F you up. That's what he said.
So confident.
So he's down.
Let's see how it goes.
It's interesting.
What else do we got?
I definitely think Israel's like the new Conor McGregor. Not like, his attitude, but he's definitely becoming the new media face of the UFC,
He loves to talk his shit.
And Dana White is going to run with it.
You got to. You got to.
Interesting. Combate Online put out a story from saying that Joanna, your J-Chick, informed the UFC earlier this week that she can't make weight.
Wow.
They said, that they discussed a bunch of options of what would happen going forward for the fight. Michelle Watterson said no way that she wants to fight at a catch weight. Last that I read about it before coming to the show today, though, Joanna says she don't know what's going on. Because she didn't inform the UFC of nothing like that.
Correct.
And the weigh-ins are on Friday, and she said she'll see everybody there.
Yeah, because it does seem like,
she's never missed weight.
Yeah.
She did just have her last fight up at flyweight at 125.
Correct.
But, so she's coming back to strawweight at 115.
Mm-hmm.
But she's had in the past some struggles cutting weight.
Really? I didn't know that.
But never failed to make weight.
Yeah, and it seems way too early on, unless you're at like 130 right now.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine that she's not gonna that she hasn't been preparing and getting ready to make weight. We're filming the show. It's Wednesday. I think the show airs on Friday. I definitely put it out on Thursday on YouTube. So I think that by the time that she should be ready to go.
I think so.
So we'll see.
She says that she will. So I think that should be fine. I don't know where the story came from. It's kind of strange. But something I wanted to discuss a little piece of news here for Bellator. Fedor and Rampage, some OGs of MMA, fighting in December in Tokyo. That should be kind of cool.
Seniors match?
Probably give the nod to Fedor. But
I gotta go Rampage. I love Rampage.
We got Brock Lesnar and Cain Velasquez set for their first match in the WWE.
It's exciting.
Which is pretty cool. I didn't catch the date on that. We'll have more news coming up. And one thing I wanted to ask you about is, I've been reading about people appealing decisions constantly lately.
Yeah, it's been coming up.
We had the Barboza-Felder split decision, which, Barboza was appealing for weeks, trying to get it changed over his way. Alex Oliveira versus Nicholas Dalby, a couple weeks ago. Oliveira lost a split decision. He's trying to get it switched over. And a little bit of a strange one from this past card here, Diego Lima, who won a split decision victory over Luke Jumo, is appealing the fact that it was a split decision and wants it changed to a unanimous.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like, I get it and I don't get it. Like, if you won the fight and it's a split decision, like, what's really changed? If it comes if you get it to be unanimous, like, it didn't change anything. It just
still won.
You still win. So, and you still win the decision. Whether unanimous or split seems a little bit petty.
Yeah, I think that's a little silly. I can understand maybe Barboza.
Yeah, because it was a draw.
Right.
And he got it into him.
Right. And I think,
And he doesn't even call on that, though. They do that.
Right.
Like, when it's a draw, you said that they
just overlook it. They just review it anyways. So, yeah, I can understand that. The Oliveira versus Dalby, Nicholas Dalby definitely won that fight.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And Oliveira's trying to get it switched so that he wins the fight.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know
why he would think that.
It was split decision for Dalby. If anything, Dalby should appeal for a unanimous.
I agree 100% on that one. That's weird.
I kind of, just overall kind of think like, if you put yourself in the judge's hands, accept what they say.
Exactly.
And get over it.
Exactly.
What are you going to go to court for an appeal when you could get back in the gym and make yourself better?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we got a huge card, and by huge, I mean jam-packed with more fights I've ever seen in a fight night without an early prelim.
Absolutely.
And we are short on time, so we are going to bang these out. UFC Fight Night 161, Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Michelle Waterson, Saturday, October 12th at 8 p.m. at the Amalie Arena in Tampa. And we're going to start right off in the women's flyweight division. JJ Aldridge, 7-3, versus the 5-2 Lauren Muller.
Aldridge is a better striker. Former strawweight, though. Muller, she's just a brawler. Bigger, though, former bantamweight.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go with the brawler here, Lauren Muller.
You know what? I really like JJ Aldridge from her time in The Ultimate Fighter.
Right.
So I'm going to split this one up for us. In the middleweight division, Marvin Vettori, 13-4-1, going up against the 11-4 Andrew Sanchez.
Yeah, they were dying to get their hands on each other. This was canceled from the last event.
Correct.
Vettori really wants a piece of him. I like Vettori quite a bit. I think he's in better shape, better pace. Sanchez is probably more technical, but he'll probably gas out. That's his MO.
I think I'm going to agree with you on this and go with Melvin Vettori.
Absolutely.
In the welterweight division, Miguel Baeza, 6-0, undefeated, going up against the 4-2 Hector Aldana.
Baeza, contender series, good chin, likes to brawl. Aldana brawls as well, but not as good of a chin, I wouldn't say. So I'm going to go with Miguel.
I always love my undefeated records, so I got to go with Baeza. Bantamweight division, Marlon Vera, 14-5-1, going up against the 15-5 Andre Ewell. And isn't Andre Ewell, isn't that DC's protege?
Yes, it is.
So I'm going with DC protege.
Yeah, he's definitely the better striker. His ground is okay for a DC protege.
Yeah. Just okay.
I would have to say that Vera probably has the better grappling, but he likes to strike as a grappler. And yeah, Andre got the better striking, so I'm going with him for sure.
Boom. This next fight, I'm really excited for.
Super excited. Don't know why it's on the prelims.
Me neither. Might be fight of the night. In the flyweight division, men's flyweight division, Davison Figueroa, 16-1, going up against the crazy 15-8-1 Tim Elliott. Tim Elliott fought for the title, and that was a back and forth battle on the ground. This could be exciting. What do you think?
Yeah, Elliott's had a little bit of a slide in the UFC, but good grappler. good overall, kind of likes to exchange. I don't know why Figueiredo doesn't get any, press. He's one of the best flyweights that we've seen. He's only got one loss in his whole career, and that's to Jussier Formiga, who has fought for the title and just lost to Joe Benavidez. And that was only decision that he lost to Formiga. I think I got to go with Figueiredo here for sure.
I agree with you 100%. His last showing was a dominating striking clinic.
Absolutely.
And I think he might be able to pull the same thing on Tim Elliott. I like Tim Elliott a lot, but I think his time has come and gone in the UFC, and Davison is just getting started. In the welterweight division, Max Griffin, 15-6, going up against the 16-6 Alex Moreno. What do you think?
Griffin with 7 KOs, good hands. Moreno with the better grappling, 6 submissions on his record and 5 KOs. I think I'm going to go with Alex Moreno here.
I agree. All right. In the light heavyweight division, this is another exciting fight. Surprised that this isn't higher up. Ryan Spann, 16-5, going up against the 10-3 Devin Clark.
Both coming off of good wins.
Yep.
Ryan Spann, a KO of Little Nog.
Yep.
Devin Clark, a decision over Darko Stosic.
Ooh.
Yeah, in June. I think Clark's probably got the better hands. Spann's probably the better grappler. I think I'm going to go with Clark in this one.
All right, well, I'm splitting it up. I really like Ryan Spann.
I do like Ryan Spann.
I like
it's a
him
tough
a lot.
decision.
Yeah. In the main event of the prelims in the welterweight division, Nico Price, 13-3, with 1 no contest, going up against the 13-4 James Vick.
I like this fight.
Me too.
James Vick, pretty good all-around fighter. He's had some bad luck. He's 3 losses in a row, actually, coming off of. But he's coming off of losses to Gaethje, Paul Felder, and Dan Hooker.
Wow.
So he's fighting the best of the best.
Yeah.
He's a decision guy, usually, and he's going against Nico Price, who is coming down to welterweight. I believe he was at middleweight because he fought Jeff Neal last in July, and it was a serious barn burner before Neal knocked him out in the second round.
Okay.
But Nico got 9 KOs on his record, 3 submissions. He's a finisher. He's exciting, and he's got fast hands. I got to go with Nico Price on this.
I agree with you. All right, and then to begin the main event, we have Eric Anders, 12-4, going up against 29-11 Gerald Meerschaert.
I like this fight.
I like it a lot. I like Eric Anders. He's making a comeback.
I like Eric Anders a lot. His last fight was real good to see him come back to form, you know, with a great KO versus Vinicius Moreira in June, real quick. He's got 8 KOs on the record. And
is he dropping down to middleweight? Because he was light heavyweight when he fought against Mustache. Just lost last 2 events ago. Roundtree, Khalil Roundtree.
Yes, he did lose the
He got dominated by Khalil Roundtree at light heavyweight.
And that's what made him come down to middleweight. I believe his last fight was at middleweight.
Yeah.
And Meerschaert, another great fighter, 21 submissions on his record. He's a beast on the ground, absolute beast. Maybe one of the best middleweight grapplers. He's 2-2 in his last 4 though, so he's up and down lately. I gotta go with Anders, who's back on that upswing.
Absolutely, I think, and the drop to middleweight, I think, is going to give him an advantage. In the lightweight division, Matt Frivola, a 7-1-1, going up against the 7-1, the Brazilian hillbilly, Luis Pena.
The violent Bob Ross. Yeah,
violent Bob Ross.
Pena. This is he's a all-around fighter. If he finishes it, it's with submissions, But his last fight, he came off a KO against Matt Wyman, which was pretty big. That was in June. Frivola is only 1-3 in the UFC, and he's only got 1 KO, 3 submissions, and 3 decisions for his record. So
Luis Pena all the way.
Got to go with Pena there for sure.
Violent Bob Ross. That's awesome. All right. In the women's strawweight division, Mackenzie Dern, undefeated 7-0, going against the 7-1 Amanda Ribas.
It's a big fight here. Mackenzie Dern, we haven't seen in a while because she's coming back from maternity leave.
Oh, wow.
Right, which is, I haven't heard from really in MMA, but that's cool. I like that. They're regular people.
Yeah.
And that's pretty impressive, for any athlete to come back from something like that to your body, so that's cool. She's undefeated on a tear, 2-0 in the UFC. Before she's been out for a while, but before she was out, she failed to make weight in her last fight against Emily Whitmere. But still, no, that was Ribas, my bad.
Oh.
But still won, sorry. But yeah, she failed to make weight in her last fight. I didn't write who it was, I guess. But she still won. Mackenzie Dern's a finisher.
Okay.
Four submissions in her record. Amanda Ribas, we saw her fight Emily Whitmire last fight.
Yep.
And submitted her. She throws some good hands though. Got 3 KOs on her record too. So I think I'm gonna go with Ribas here. The more active,
All right. Well, I want to split it up. I don't really remember seeing any of these girls fight. But I like
Ribas
undefeated records.
Fighting Whitmere.
And coming back from having a child maternity leave, it's
gonna be tough.
nice little story.
It is, but it's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough. And she's going up against a tough fighter.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. In the lightweight division, we have a fill-in. Mike Davis just got added to the card a day ago, Tuesday, and he's 6-2, going up against the 14-8 with 2 no contests, Thomas Gifford.
Yeah, decent fight here. Gifford lost last fight, his debut to Roosevelt Roberts, and in the same show, Mike Davis lost his debut to Gilbert Burns by submission. So, this is a up in the air type of one. Davis got 6 KOs, 1 submission on his record. Gifford got 12 submissions and 2 KOs.
Wow.
If Gifford brings him down, submission. If Davis keeps it up, maybe a knockout.
I like the fill-in. I'm going to go Mike Davis.
I'm going to go with Davis. Probably by
right.
KO, too.
This next fight has Fight of the Night also written all over it. Cub Swanson, 25-11, going up against the 5-0 Kron Gracie. And who do you got?
This is a tough one. Cub's crazy experience. He's coming off 4 losses in a row, though.
Yeah, but to tough fights.
And he's done well in most of them, even though, he's a good all-around veteran.
And Kron Gracie's
only, 5 fights, though, total?
Yeah.
And but he's a beast on the ground.
And he's part of the Gracie family. So.
Absolute beast on the ground. Submitted Alex Caceres.
Yep.
It could be a quick submission, or it could be
an absolute war.
And I'm hoping for the war.
Yeah, that's the either way it's going to go. I think I want to see the war, but Kron Gracie has the ability.
But it's probably going to be a first-round submission.
All right, now let's jump into this last fight. We got about 2 minutes left. The main event of the evening, the return of Joanna Jędrzejczyk, 15-3, coming off 3 straight losses.
Yeah.
3 title fights, and she loses all 3. Then going up against Michelle Waterson, 17-6, on the return to the rise of Michelle Waterson.
Absolutely.
This is a fight I think we've been waiting for since Joanna was champ.
Yeah.
I think everybody wanted to see Michelle Waterson make this fight, but she gets beat by Thug Rose, Namajunas, and Namajunas goes on to fight Joanna Jędrzejczyk for the belt. But now Michelle Waterson's getting her chance at Joanna, and I'm excited to see this fight.
This could definitely decide the next contender at strawweight for the belt. Joanna coming off the losses, but she's still who she is.
Exactly.
Definitely the better striker. I think Michelle's kicks, pose a little bit of a problem, like her front switch kick, her side kick, stuff like that. But Joanna's ready for that. I think Michelle definitely has an edge in the grappling. If she can get her down, which is the tough part, because Joanna's got great takedown defense, then she's got the better top control. And she's definitely, I think, the stronger overall physically.
Oh, wow.
You
give her the strength advantage, too.
I think so. So, but she'll have trouble getting her there.
Yeah, she's not a great
wrestler. She's got some judo, Michelle, and she'll probably get her with a head throw or something like that from the clinch, but then she's in trouble in the clinch. watch for them knees and them quick elbows in tight.
This could be another war.
It absolutely spells war to me. Like, I think it's going to be all 5 rounds. Joanna, notoriously a decision fighter anyways. And so is Michelle. So I think we're going to have, 2 of the best women's strawweights beating up on each other. And I got to go with Joanna.
I agree. Joanna is coming back. She wants that belt back.
Yeah,
and she's not going to let
because I
anybody
think the
stand in her
places
way.
where Michelle will be, at her best, I think it puts her in damage.
Absolutely.
In danger,
All right, well, that's all we can give you today. We're about to run clean out of time. So until next week, make sure you check out Gym Bag Entertainment on YouTube. Gym Bag is one word, entertainment on YouTube. And until next week, we'll see you in the octagon. Have a good night.
Peace.